Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouAutoKnowLive.com. I'm Dave Serio, host of a radio show in Baltimore, an automotive talk show that airs in Baltimore and Frederick, Maryland, and it airs every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until noon on DaveSerio.com, and 3 local radio stations in the Maryland area. Also, I own a repair facility in Bel Air, Maryland, which is in Harford County, and it's called Vehicle Service Plus. You can find out more on the web, as it states on the bottom of my lower third, VehicleServicePlus.com. Got a couple buddies of mine with me right now. We're going to talk car repair, detailing, and also we have Dave Winward from Jasper Engines. He'll talk about Jasper and the products that they remanufacture. But we're going to start off with a man who was first up today. Yes, let's give a shout out for Jose Bueso. He didn't have Todd slowing him down tonight. That's what happened. Good to have you first there, Jose.
Hello, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You are half of the dynamic duo. Usually Todd joins you along, but he saw this terrible weather, and I'm sure he went home early, didn't he?
No, as a matter of fact, Todd is downstairs working on that Sprinter van we were talking about last week.
Oh, no. That's just, oh, my. Would he love being on camera instead of doing that? You mean you still have that dreadful POS since last week?
Yeah, we just acquired all of the parts today. We had to order them up, and it took about 2 or 3 days to get them all accumulated.
Right.
And we have to have this van ready to roll by Thursday. Our customer is leaving in this van for a show on the road all the way in Las Vegas. So
he's driving the Sprinter van to Las Vegas.
Yes. Exactly.
This, by the way, this next gesture has nothing to do with your repair quality. But I tell you right now, that guy needs every bit of guidance and love and respect that he can get on that trip to Vegas. You know what? I would rather spend 30 days in a country club prison and make him drive that Sprinter van to Vegas and back.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be a tough one.
Give me a hot tub and a spa and, 23 hours secluded before I would want to spend all those hours driving that thing to Vegas.
Dave, in your spare time, if you would, an Our Father and a Hail Mary and light a candle also.
I will make a special attempt at that, just to help out that guy. Oh, my goodness gracious, that's unreal. That's unreal. Well, anyway, I want to talk to you. Dynamic Automotive, 3 locations in Frederick area, and you guys do excellent work. I know that Sprinter's going to make it to Vegas without a problem. I got money on it, won't make it back, but that has nothing to do with your work, I guarantee you. What does this guy do for a living? Is it some type of like a show at like SEMA and things like that?
This fella with a Sprinter van, he is into dog obedience, and the name of his company is called Sit Means Sit. So he's going to a show out there in Vegas, and his business is pretty lucrative. He does very well, and this is just one of his vehicles that he uses. And he's going to go out. Yeah.
People love their animals. They want them to be a certain way. I got lucky. Mine just became that way. I'm not taking any credit for Jasper and his ability to go to a car show with me in the summertime and have no leash. That's a special dog. Very few do that.
Right.
But I was just lucky that situation. He's laying right here.
How long have you had Jasper? How old is he?
He was 8 weeks old when we got him, and he's 6.5 years old. Okay. But he's been going.
And he's
always been that way. I mean, a year.
Right.
He was a year old, and he went to his first car show without a leash. Okay. I mean, I always take one with me, but the first car show he went to was in May of like 2009. Something like that, 2009, maybe 2010, all right? And he spent the whole day with me from 7:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, and I did all the announcements and gave away all the awards, and he laid right by my side.
Now, that's a good dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a Labrador Retriever with similar traits, and I've had many dogs in my life, but that one lab that I had, he was really one of a kind, and he sounds like Jasper, where I didn't need a leash. He was one of the guys, he knew how to behave, and he was used to going here and there and everywhere with us.
Yep, I mean, he went, we took a trip down to North Carolina. He goes with us all the time. And if we have to leave him in a room, we do. We come back and nothing's disturbed, and he's happy to see us. And, you know, he just is exceptional. We're very, very fortunate. And, you know, all the people at the car shows, if I show up now without him, I get people absolutely upset with me. You know?
Right.
Did I ever tell you about the episode at Mopar Palooza? I think I may have mentioned this on the air before, but the guy that was in charge of Mopar Palooza, which was a very large Dodge and Chrysler show, we had like 500 cars there. His son was about 6 years old and was just running amok. I mean, everywhere. The kid was everywhere, putting his hand on cars, you know, just running, making just obnoxious little kid, okay? And his father and his parent, nobody was around him. So he was like, you know, everybody was talking about him. Well, the guy who was in charge, his father, comes up to me with Jasper laying down next to me and goes, you know that dog's got to be on a leash. I guess.
Oh, boy.
Dog's laying next to me, not bothering anybody. So I turned around and said, well, when you put your kid on a leash, I'll put my dog on a leash. Didn't go over that well. Anyway, so good to talk to you. Tell us all about Dynamic Automotive, Jose.
Okay, we have 3 locations here in Frederick County, and the location that I'm at is in Libertytown, Maryland. And if you want to contact us to get your car worked on, our phone number here is 301-694-6250. Our original shop is located in Newmarket, Maryland, and that phone number there is 301-694-5460, and you'll talk to Lee or Sarah there. And our third shop, which is our biggest shop, is right off at 270 in Urbana, Maryland, and that phone number is 301-874-8833. And that shop boasts a 9-bay repair shop with a 4-bay quick lube facility up front and a 60-foot soft cloth car wash that Mike Lambert completely endorses. And if you mention Dave Serio or You Ought to Know, you will get 10% off on parts and labor on any of your repairs.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, yes, that's right.
March special.
Correct me. Go ahead, Dave. There's an extra special this month.
20% labor. 20% off all labor they will give you at Dynamic Automotive in the month of March just by mentioning Dave Serio or You Ought to Know. Sometimes you got to correct the owners. I'm telling you, sometimes.
That's the truth, and I'm used to it.
Yeah, and by the way, if you own a Sprinter van, call Jose quickly because when he realizes how bad it was to work on that one, he'll never work on it again. So if you want to get your Sprinter van in, you better hurry up.
Oh, I love it. Todd's going to love that, too.
Oh, he'll love it.
Thank you.
He's going to say, hey, can we get that off of YouTube? Hey, it's great to have you, sir. If you'll hold on just one moment, we're going to talk with Dave and Mike, and we'll be back with you, okay?
Great. Good to be here.
All right. Second up today was Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Hello there, Mr. Dave.
Hello. Great being here again.
Good to have you. And by the way, the tool that you were talking about on Monday, I believe, no, it was Monday, I think it was, or Friday. I'm not sure when we saw you last. We are interested in that at Vehicle Service Plus. So it'll probably be about a week or two. If you could just remind me in about 2 weeks, and we'll go ahead and place an order for that.
Oh, okay. And that might be something Jose would be interested in as well. That's the
Tell me about it. Yeah.
The Drew pass-through tool, the JS2535, that integrates through the either General Motors or Ford's website so you can use their programming to flash the computers. We have that available for sale through Jasper, and you can use your co-op money, if you have co-op money accrued, towards the purchase of that unit. So Jose, you can ask your local sales rep. I think his name's Greg.
Right.
about
you
about
think
that
his name's
program.
Greg? Yeah. You just want to give one over on Greg. So when Jose sees him next, Jose will say, "Hey, what about that tool that you never told me about?"
Yeah. But that's cool. I will. I'll touch base with you tomorrow about that.
Jose, are you
Okay.
familiar? Are you familiar with the tool?
No, not really. No.
Okay, it's a tool that allows you to reprogram automobiles through the manufacturer's website. In other words, what you can do, it's a Drew tool that you buy, and then when you want to reprogram a car, reflash a car, you go to the website of the manufacturer, and it allows you to connect through a computer that website, and then you can reflash the vehicle through that. Now, just so you know, there's a charge for the tool, okay? Anywhere between probably $700 and $1,400 will be Jasper's price, depending on how much co-op money you have available. And also, you have to pay, I think it's like GM, for example, is like $55 for a 3-day use of their computers, of their networking. So it's still cheaper than having to take the car, go through all the hassle of going to a dealer and having it programmed.
What we're doing now with updates on computer systems, we have a dedicated laptop that we share amongst the locations, and we buy the subscriptions to Ford, GM, or whomever, and that's what we use now currently. But I'm still interested in this tool to see if there's an advantage.
Well, there is the one advantage, even I'm sure Dave can answer this too, but one advantage that I see is the fact that, one, it's almost every manufacturer. Okay, it isn't just the 3 big GM, Ford, and Chrysler. It's virtually everybody. And for that reason alone, you can do Lexus, you can do Toyota, you can do Acura, Honda, all of them.
Oh yes, that makes me interested in this tool then, because if I can do everything across the board, all the manufacturers, that's a distinct advantage.
Right.
Yeah, I believe if you may have already have some of the Ford has their own specific scan tool and programmer. You may have that. Some of the tools available in the market have the technology built in, and you're probably whatever tool you're using has the ability to do it. The Drew technology, they're the ones that invented the actual pass-through flashing technology. So yeah, Todd he's probably pretty sharp on what you're currently using, and talk to Todd, and we do have those available, and it's a really good deal for you through Jasper.
All right, well, let's start talking about some Jasper videos here, mister. What you got for us tonight?
Oh, well, first I wanted to talk about the GM.
Okay.
GM, we're starting to see a lot more of these Gen 3 and Gen 4 GM engines, and this is what I kind of call the new small block. The Gen 3 started in about 1997 to about 2005. I believe the Gen 4 started around 2005 to the present. So this is the new generation of GM V8s. And they are, it's a very solid engine, but they are getting a lot of miles on them. They've been out for a long time, so we're starting to see our sales with that product line ramp up. And there's a couple updates we're doing, and listen very closely, because some things I share might be in the contest. That I have for us, but one of the major updates is we are using these pistons which we've redesigned. Some of these early Gen 4 engines had this knocking noise, and on startup, I'm sure you've all heard it. Piston slap. And we've redesigned that piston, and we are using what's called a hyper-eutectic material, and that has a high silicone value. And basically, what that does is it allows the piston to be installed at a much tighter clearance. It doesn't have the expansion and contraction properties of just cast aluminum. So that makes a better seal in the combustion chamber, longer life. We have a graphite coating on the skirt. And one of the big issues with this engine that we've seen is the heads have a tendency to crack and they'll end up mixing the coolant with the oil. So we have a very rigorous process as far as even when we take the heads off of the core, we take the bolts in the reverse pattern of the torque sequence just so they're not being flexed. We do a die check on them with an aluminum die to look for cracks, and then we actually seal them up and pressurize them to 150 psi with liquid. And what we're trying to do, if there's any small cracks, we're trying to open those cracks up so we can see that it's if there is a leak. So we're really testing. There's been several different manufacturers that GM's use to cast these heads, and we're finding problems with all of them.
Now, to our listeners know, we're talking about like the GM 4.8, 5.3,
yes.
6.0 engines?
Yep, 4.8, 5.3, 6.0, 6.2, and actually GM did make a Generation 3 5.7, which were in the in Corvettes through the late 90s to the early 2000s. So there is a 350 Gen 3. But yeah, most of them are what I'm seeing the most of are the 5.3s.
Right. Well, that's a very, very popular engine in almost every SUV and truck makes. The GM makes in the truck and SUVs, I'd say probably 75% of them are 5.3 engines.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have like 4 different styles of these 5.3s. They've got the hybrid. They've got the flex fuel. They have a T code and an R. I mean, are they all very similar though?
Yeah, well, they have made some changes. The newest ones actually have the variable valve technology, and then they also used. Let me see if I can find the active fuel management, which is the ones that actually cut the cylinders off.
864, yeah.
Yeah, and they used some funny lifters, and we actually we use the latest design AFM lifters because some of the earlier ones had some problems, and that's I see a lot of check engine lights because of lifters and camshaft problems, so we are addressing that.
Well, that's one of the issues in these engines when they knock out cylinders. Is it actually the engine stops operating on those cylinders?
Well, as far as I know, it keeps the valve shut, so the piston's just kind of going up and down for the ride, and the lifters are oil controlled. The computer is able to turn the lifters on and turn them off, and to me that just sounds like trouble, you know.
Yeah, especially if you're on a long trip and you're doing 55 to 65 miles per hour on a flat surface like going down to Florida. I would assume that a lot of times you're doing that. You've got a lot of times that vehicle's on a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Cadillac tried the 468. Oh,
the 864 mechanical. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You think they would learn from their mistakes?
People were going to dealerships and begging for them to have that taken off.
Yeah, just take it off.
And ended up independent shops did it for people just out of mercy.
Yeah.
You know. So.
But yeah, that's we are seeing.
You got a video for us?
I do have a quick video, and one of the things we're doing, which I'll share. Now, this video is, I think it's of a 4.6 Ford, but if you look on this, we're torque plate honing, and we're not only torque plate honing, we're using torque plates that are about 2 inches thick, and we're using grade 10 ARP head bolts to bolt these torque plates down. And what that does is it simulates that the heads are already torqued to the engine, and we're not only torque plate honing, we're actually torque plate boring, which I've a process that very, very few people do. So I will share this quick video with you.
Okay. Which we won't find boring.
Yeah.
That's an old joke.
So there is there's the torque plate.
Right.
And this is a fully automated CNC honing machine. And when that's done boring a cylinder, and there's the electronic, it might be backwards, but
yeah.
The electronic portion, but that thing will bore a cylinder, the boring bar will move up, and then the engine will move over, and it'll go into the next hole, and then it'll move over. So it's a fully automated, and you can see how thick those torque plates are on that head.
Now, do you think some of your competitors, and I'm not asking you to talk bad about them, but do you think some of your competitors have equipment nowadays that is not automated, that they just do it strictly, I won't say by hand, but they're yeah, I'd say by hand. You're taking the machine, you're lining it up like a machine shop. Do some of your competitors still do that, or are they pretty much all automated, do you think?
I'm sure that's a Rottler machine. That's the state-of-the-art, best you can buy. You know, even with a mechanical machine, you can still get a very accurate cut in the cylinder,
Right.
but one of the things, it takes a lot longer. So this is a machine that does it by itself. That way the technician can start this process, and then he can actually walk away and do something else when it's doing the process. So it really helps the efficiency of the operation.
Very good. Well, when we come back, will you have a contest for us this evening?
I do.
Okay, we've got information on last week's, hopefully. Sounds good, Dave.
Thank you.
All right. Michael Lambert from the Shine Shop, Mr. Extreme Detailer himself. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. What you got sitting behind you?
It's a Jaguar XJ8 that we worked
Okay.
on most of the day today.
And it's like an everyday driver, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know if it's an everyday driver, but it's a driver. It's
Okay.
I think the gentleman does have another car, but he enjoys driving this one.
Good. Very good.
One of your listeners.
Yeah, you said he's one of my listeners. That's
Yeah.
nice that he brought the car over. And I wanted you, if you could, well, first of all, let's say a little bit about you. The type of detailing that you do. This car started with you very early this morning, correct?
Yeah, I started on it about 7:30.
All right. And you worked on it till what? Probably about 5 or 5:30?
I got the last coat of coating on it about 4 o'clock, a little bit after.
All right.
But that was, that's steady work all day long.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us some of the things you did to it.
I'm sorry?
Tell us some of the things that you did to it.
Oh, it came in. It had a lot of really bad car marks and scratches, and it had been in a body shop at one time in its life and had some sand and scratches in it. So we basically sanded the hood and the trunk, which was the worst, with 3,000 and then 5,000, and then 2 steps of polishing, compound and a polish, and then the coating.
Okay. And did the paint show any sign of fading, or is it in pretty good shape there?
No, it's in real good shape. It still has some defects that are not safe to take out, some scratches.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, I'm pleased with it. I think he'll be happy.
All right, and you put 2 coats of the ceramic coating Geon on there?
Yeah, the Geon Mows, the regular coating that we use. I shouldn't say regular, but they're one level of coating we use.
Right.
And it has 2 coats on it. Yeah, and it's curing now. And in the morning, I still have to do the wheels and the tires and the windows, but we'll finish that up in the morning, and he can have it anytime he wants.
All right, do you have any room to walk around a little bit and show us what you did?
So. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
My wife will kill me if I drop this, so.
I understand. It's a beautiful Mac computer. We want to see you drop it.
So there's the hood. I don't know if the reflection shows up.
Oh, yeah. That looks great. I mean, you're talking about probably about a 8 or 10-year-old car.
Yeah.
And it came out great.
Yeah, that was sanded with 3,000 and 5,000, and then compounded and polished. So we didn't take that much clear off, which I was amazed at. So
Very good.
The paint on that's pretty hard, so it takes a real good licking.
Well, folks, that's why we wanted to show you what Mike does. Anybody can get a car clean and make it look clean for a little while, but not only does he get these cars extremely clean by putting a lot of elbow grease and quality, stuff behind it, but then he throws the Geon protection on there. So this gentleman's going to have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years of not having to worry about waxing that car, and it'll be protected even in the elements. So wheels look great.
Well, the wheels, I don't know if you can see the discoloration in it or not. That's from people cleaning it with the wrong products.
Oh, boy.
And has some of the finish that's off of it, but he can have those refinished, and that won't be a problem at all.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to show everybody that you don't work strictly on exotics. Now, some people may argue that a Jaguar is exotic, but an XJ8 is not. Okay, that's your everyday family four-door car from Jaguar, and even though they are healthier than a Ford Taurus, they still are a car affordable by a lot of people nowadays. And that's you do a lot of these cars as well as exotics. You don't have to have It doesn't have to have, say, Pininfarina on the side of it for you to work on it.
No, not at all. It just depends on what you want. If you want it to look a little better than average and spend a little bit more money, then that's what we do. And most of the people, he was real excited to get it done because he said after listening to the radio show that he figured out he was doing everything wrong and wanted to get it straightened out and start from scratch again. So
literally, you can't say start from scratch, okay?
I'm sorry. I ought to know.
A detailer can't say start from scratch. Come on now.
No, I'm happy with it. It's I'm pleased with where we ended up from where we started.
Okay, so let's talk about the bad news now. If the Jaguar is in your shop,
it's out front.
the Challenger is sitting out in the rain.
It's out front under about a quarter inch of ice, I think.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
But you know,
yep, you got to do what you got to do.
That's exactly right. And I'm too old to be building a bigger shop, so that's the way it's going to be.
Sounds good. All right, well, your contact information. If you are serious, and we mean serious, about having your car detailed, cleaned, and protected, then Mike is the guy to see. He is not at $175. That is not going to happen. But he'll spend all day on your vehicle like he did on this Jaguar. And that's what a lot of automobiles out there need. And even if it's in good condition, he's going to spend probably all day on your car. Because good condition by your estimates is not anywhere near good condition by Michael Lambert's estimates. It is completely different. So your phone number, people can give you a call and ask you questions, is 410-833-1632. And the website's right on your lower third there, theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. And by the way, what a great job Lena did on the new updated website.
Yeah, she completely changed everything. She's still got a couple more tweaks she wants to do to it, but I think it turned out great. She worked a long time on it, and it took her a lot of hard work.
All I know is my cars are now up on there, and I'm happy.
I was going to say I have 2 of your cars prominently displayed. So.
Yes, you do. Thank you very much.
All right.
You know, the Striker Red Viper likes you very much. I mean, that's a color that when you're done with it, it looks unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a pretty color.
And I've said it before. I've never, in my 30 years of owning the Pantera, have seen the Pantera look that good.
Well, I appreciate that. And the guy that painted it did an excellent job too. So that put us one step ahead. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I've got a Pantera coming to me, by the way, Friday. This gentleman is getting it completely restored. So he's bringing it to me on Friday, and we're taking the engine and trans out for him. And then he's going to ship the body down to Southern Maryland and have it painted. And then he's going to have the engine and trans, or I'm not sure the trans, but he's going to have the engine rebuilt.
Wow, that's cool.
So trying to help him out so he can get that done.
So yeah, I'm hoping that the weather will straighten out by the time we do the 2 car shows, so you can bring it.
Well, no, I'm going to have him there. So you just better hope snow's not on the ground.
Yeah, I hope not.
I think we'll be okay. All right.
With the weather around here, you never know. I've been at opening day in the snow before.
I hear that. I hear that. Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. And we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
Okay.
Jose, are you still there, mister?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
We can. You live very close to your location there, don't you?
Yes, I'm about 5 to 7 minutes away from this location.
Okay, well, my best wishes for you this evening is that it only takes you 5 to 7 minutes to get home.
Yeah, thank you. I've got 4-wheel drive, and I'll tiptoe all the way home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So things going well for you, Dynamic? You guys been pretty busy?
Yes, we're fortunate at this location to be very, very busy. We put a lot of flyers out in January. Another 10,000 went out last week, and we're getting quite a reaction from those. We do zip codes, a radius of roughly 5 miles around the shop, and a lot of people are reacting to that. And then the Newmarket shop, which is a smaller shop than ours, it only has 2 bays. That shop is inundated, and it's incredible how much work they have. That location is a little bit different than ours, where it serves a lot more commuters than we do. We're in a more of a rural setting over here.
Yes.
And the Urbana shop, of course, it being where it is, right off of 270 in the community of Urbana, that shop tends to service a lot more commuters. However, that shop, surprisingly, in February was a little slow.
Well, so are we. So are we. January and February have been very, very poor months for me.
Yeah, you just can't figure it, you know, and usually when it gets this cold, we see a lot of work, you know, batteries, water pumps, radiators, and all kinds of stuff. But Urbana has been kind of slow. The car wash is really pinging along. The car wash, of course, this is car wash season right now.
With all the salt.
Yeah, all the salt. So that's the only real aspect over there that's busy, along with the Quick Lube. The Quick Lube stays busy on the weekends, too.
You know, I saw you at the local SHA office directing all the trucks in to get the salt. They're helping you out big time, guys. You know that?
Yeah, I'm pushing them out the door. Go get those roads salty. Go. Yeah.
Today we reported 2 inches of snow and 4 inches of salt here in the Maryland area. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to give those guys a raise. They're doing a great job.
I hear you. Well, you know, we were talking about business being off. I really believe, and I'm sure that you'll probably agree with me, if we would have had 20 years ago temperatures like this consistent for 2 weeks, we would have had tow trucks lined up outside dropping vehicles off.
Yes.
But vehicles are made much better now.
Yeah, they're much more hardier. They last a lot longer. And the durability of certain items, for instance, brakes, has exponentially been improved. So people are getting a lot more miles out of their parts.
I mean, when you think about it, 25 years ago, companies like Meineke and Midas, they lived off of exhaust. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, you know, why are they working on everything now? Because they have to if they want to stay in business.
Yeah.
You know, if you rely strictly exhaust and brakes, you couldn't even do it anymore.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Exhaust systems are now across the board stainless steel.
Yeah.
And they usually last the lifetime of a vehicle, or practically the lifetime of a vehicle.
At least 10 to 15 years. Yeah. On the quality cars. So it is amazing. And fuel injection, I mean, it's been around for a lot longer than 20 years. But the fuel injection over the last 20 years, since 1996, has improved considerably also. So that problems that we had in the 80s with fuel injection, we don't have anymore.
Yeah, you don't see the necessity to clean those injectors. Now you just throw a can of BG44K in the tank and you're ready to roll. Right.
So that's what's hurt our business, but yet it's better in the long run for consumers. And people don't understand. I heard some people complaining about the cold weather and their car, that it cranked a little slow, okay? And I would like to remind them of the late 60s and early 70s when you wouldn't have heard a peep out of your car. You wouldn't have had a crank, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is, you know?
Those were the days when you had to individually fill up the cells of your battery, make sure that the electrolyte was up to its proper level.
Right.
Oh, I remember those days.
Every 6 months, or if you didn't get a start. You know, and we're talking about a situation where a carburation, my goodness gracious, you'd pump, crank, pump, crank. You know, and I hate to say this to you, but remote start wouldn't have done you any good in the 60s and 70s. If you weren't there pumping that gas, you weren't starting your vehicle. Okay?
Right.
So can you imagine?
Right.
Yeah, can you imagine? People complain about not having remote start now because they've got to get in their car and start it. Back then, you had to get in your car, and you had to sit in there, and you had to pump it, and you had to feather the gas, and you had to pull the throttle, the choke, the whole bit, all that stuff to get a car started. And while you were doing that, you were freezing your buttocks off in that car.
That's the truth, yeah.
I remember my 69 Mustang. I love that car, but I'm telling you, wintertime, wow, that was a bear. That was a bear. No power steering. '69 Mustang, 351 Windsor, a GT. Okay, no power steering. I quit college because I got tired of parking that car in a parallel parking at Towson State University. That's how it was called, college. I quit college because I had enough of parking that no power steering car at that school.
Yeah, you really had to know how to handle cars like that. That manual steering, the only way you could truly turn a steering wheel is by rolling that car ever so slightly and then yanking on that steering wheel.
Get a little bit of roll to it, and parallel parking was tough. You know, now you can do it with your one finger, you know, and of course they have cars that park themselves. But I mean, back then, if you didn't have power steering, and can you imagine? Really think about it. I mean, a '69 Mustang is a big car, and it isn't like it had some kind of power assist. It either had power steering or it didn't, and it didn't.
Right.
It was a monster. Now my Pantera still does not have any power steering, but that car is much lighter and different because it's a situation where it's mid-engine. But I tell you, that engine sitting on top of that steering box, wow, baby. Wow, baby. Makes you think.
The Pantera, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Pantera is also still carbureted, isn't it?
Yes, it's carbureted and it's rack and pinion. Yeah, it's a manual rack and pinion, and it is carbureted. I still have it carbureted. Yes.
What kind of carburetor is used?
It's a Holly 780, I believe. Either that or 850. Yeah. I'm not sure which Holly it is, but it's definitely a Holly. And it's the original one that I've had with the car for 30 years. It's not the original one on the car, because when Panteras were manufactured, Ford supplied an Autolite carburetor. No, Motorcraft, a Motorcraft carburetor, and Autolite distributor. And they lasted about 3 years, and everybody, including Ford, got Motorcraft distributors, they got the Holly carburetors, and I think they went with the Autolite distributor, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Excel. It could have been Excel distributors. But the Motorcraft distributor and the carburetors were horrible. Horrible.
Now, the ignition system, was that high energy?
It's points and condenser.
Oh, it is points and condenser. So it's actually before high energy ignition.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I still have the original. I still have points and condenser in there because I haven't had any problems with it. We every couple of years we put some different points and condenser in there, and away we go.
Yep. Yeah.
I like originality. When I get these guys that have fuel injected their Panteras, I see the advantage to it, but there's something about a carbureted car that I like when you're talking about performance on the older cars. I wouldn't want any of my modern cars, but the older car, I still like the carburation.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of Harley guys felt the same way about their older Harleys before fuel injection.
Sure.
You know, same with that carburetor.
Right. It seems to perform
the way it ran. And
yeah, it seems to perform a little different. Yeah, it really does. Well, thank you, Jose. Appreciate you being with us, buddy. Can you hang in there while we say our finals to Dave and Mike?
You betcha. Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure having you, too. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you.
Jose Grueso from Dynamic Automotive, 301-694-6250, and you can always go to the web, dynamicautomotive.net. Back with Mr. Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. How did we do on the contest last week, Dave?
Well, the contest, we did not have a winner. I made it super tough.
Okay.
All right. This was the tool that I was talking about, and what this is, it is a priming tool for an oil pump. So you take this little cup, you take the distributor, and this is for a small block Ford. You take the distributor out, you put this little cup in place. This drive shaft has it's got an Allen on the bottom of it. You would set this in, and then take a drill, stick a drill to the top, and then you can turn the oil pump. So for instance, my Mustang had been sitting for 8 years without being started, so I drained all the oil out, put fresh oil in, I primed her up, and then fired her up, so you're not starting it dry. You get oil through the bearings. And
when do you think the last year for a distributed passenger car or light truck? You think it's about like 96, 97?
Distributor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're letting people know, you don't have to do that nowadays. But even those distributors were different.
Even some of the, they tended to go from the distributor, and then they turned it into just a sensor, a cam sensor, which would fire the coils. So a lot of times the oil pump was still driving off of the, and sometimes they had what some of the Fords had. They called it a dummy shaft, and it was simply just a plug with a gear on the bottom, and then it would turn the oil pump. Because sometimes they would just kind of use the old blocks and just kind of retrofit them into the newer technology. And you made an interesting point that back in the day when you were pumping your accelerator pedal, you were just throwing gas in the cylinders, and that would just wash the cylinder walls, wash all the oil off the cylinder walls, and then you would have a dry start. And that's one of the things we've seen our gas engine sales, have steadied out over the years because you're not getting that fuel wash. These engines are lasting 200, 300,000 miles, and the fuel injection has really, really increased the life of these engines. But we have noticed that the transmissions really haven't lasted much longer than they ever have. So that's why we've put so much effort into our transmission program, and we're selling about 2 transmissions to every gasoline engine now.
Very good. All right, so what do you have for us tonight as far as the contest?
The contest I have is, and this is for this awesome T-shirt. I finally got my T-shirts in.
Nice.
It's a nice screen-printed design on the back. And what type of pistons does Jasper use? So I'm looking at I had mentioned the material that we use when we cast these. So what is that type of material that Jasper uses in our pistons?
So what you need to do, folks, if you haven't been smart enough to do this at this time, is wait for the show to get over, get it on YouTube, and watch it again, and then email the first answer to jasperman73@gmail.com. First correct answer wins a T-shirt. Sound good?
Yep, and I have your exact size as long as you're an extra large.
Sounds good. So it's either a T-shirt or a nightshirt, depending on your size. And, of course, the email address to send this to is jasperman73@gmail.com. Dave, thank you very much for being with us once again tonight, buddy. And that is a good-looking T-shirt.
Yeah.
Those are brand new from Jasper?
What's that?
That's brand new from Jasper?
Fresh off the press.
Very nice. It's a good-looking shirt. I'm assuming that's a Camaro behind the hot rod?
Yeah, I think that is a Camaro. Yep.
Very good. All right. Excellent there, sir. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. If you want to talk to Jasper Engines and find out more about the availability of engines, transmissions, differentials, and transfer cases, call the toll-free number 1-800-827-7455. And a representative from Jasper will talk to you and guide you through the process, and you can set up through a dealer to have it purchased and also, of course, installed. Thank you, Dave. All right, Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop once again. Mike, the new website is up, theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. Refurbished, should I say. It's always been up, but it's got all the pictures from 2012, 13, 14, 15, a lot of years of cars that you've been working on. Some beautiful cars on there, by the way. And but also it has your pricing and all the information you need to make a wise choice on your detail.
Yeah, and we also added a whole do-it-yourself section this time. So we have everything we've always talked about on the radio stations on there, and tells people gives them some idea what we need to do.
And you've got a new type of theme to your business. Instead of premium motor car detailing, tell us about that.
Well, we kind of wanted to separate ourselves from every other detail shop in the area. So we went with automotive paint perfection and finishes instead of detailing. And we kind of want to concentrate our efforts on the paint of the car. So that kind of gives people a clue as to what we do.
And I will tell you that if your car does have some paint problems, if Mike can't repair it, He has contacts in the business that can. But also, one of the great things is there are a lot of things that people think probably are too far gone that sometimes Mike can save. And he just, it's unbelievable. I mean, I still marvel every week or so when I look at my 2003 Dodge Viper that I thought was a beautiful red color. And when you got a hold of that in 2013, you turned that car around. I mean,
I appreciate that.
That car is gorgeous. And as I told you, it really very seldom ever won any awards at all at any car shows. Now, if you know me, I don't care. I don't go there for trophies. Okay, it's not something that I've ever been interested in. But I was shocked. In 2014, that car won 4 trophies at 5 shows.
Good.
And it's all because of what you did to the paint. Trust me.
Well, I appreciate that. It just needed a real good polishing, as most cars do, and so we were glad we could help it out, and I thought it turned out pretty good. And, I've never sent anything to a show that hasn't won yet, so that keeps the streak going.
There you go. 410-833-1632 and the website theshineshopAutoDetailing.com.
Yes,
Mike,
sir.
thanks for being with us this evening. Thank you, Lena, for doing a great job on the website.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and also Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive, 301-694-6250, and the website for all 3 locations, dynamicautomotive.net. Jose, thanks again for being with us. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Well, we lost Jose's volume, but I think he got muted somehow. There you go. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. And Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions, thanks again for being with us this evening.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. I'm Dave Cirio. I host a radio show called You Ought to Know. It's live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. till noon at davecirio.com and 3 radio stations in the Maryland area. And also my Vehicle Service Plus auto repair business in Bel Air is located right on the web at vehicleserviceplus.com. Have a safe trip home this evening. Be careful out there tomorrow morning. We look forward to talking to you again. We'll be back next Tuesday evening. If you haven't seen this show live and you're watching it on archive, we thank you. We'd love to have you join us live next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. We're part of the Hangout10.com network. This is You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.